There is nothing more terrifying to modern society than a man who is in touch with his anger. And yet, there is nothing society needs more. Today's topic is by far the most dangerous and risky that I've ever made for YouTube. It is male anger and aggression. Now, before anyone wants to jump down my throat and misinterpret what I say, let me make abundantly clear. I do not condone physical or verbal aggression or violence against anyone who is non-consenting, except in extreme cases of self-defense. I don't care what gender you are, male or female, it is not okay. But what I'm about to say today is going to make a lot of people very uncomfortable, and it should. Because society has completely broken man's relationship to his anger and his rage. And that has had a detrimental effect to both men and women. Here's the lie men are told every day. If you're a good man, you won't get angry. You'll be calm, nice, pleasant, and polite. And here's the problem. That lie is slowly killing your sex life. It's slowly killing your sense of masculinity. It's slowly killing your entire identity of yourself as a man. And I know from experience, in my first relationship, I was nice, I was gentle, I never created friction, I was calm, I listened, I was 100% rational all the time. And I was cheated on, and I didn't say anything. I accepted it and moved on. I felt like a shell. I felt like an empty husk of a man. I felt emasculated. I felt invisible sexually to her. Does that sound familiar to some of you watching right now? We tell young boys that anger is dangerous, that it's toxic. We gaslight them. Have you ever seen the movie Anger Management? There's a scene where Adam Sandler is sitting in a plane and the movie has started on the plane. He's asking for his headphones and he doesn't have any. And the lady in the plane keeps ignoring him. And he's very calm, he's very sweet, he's very nice. But somehow the lady says, "Sir, please calm down. Sir, please stop raising your voice." At a certain point, she calls over the Sky Marshal, who starts to threaten him with being arrested if he doesn't please calm down. The whole time, Adam Sandler is being nice and calm. And this is how society treats men and their anger. We train men to think, if I express even a little frustration, I'll be seen as dangerous, or worse, abusive. So instead of expressing our anger in mild, appropriate degrees, in appropriate situations, we keep it bottled inside so we can be nice and sweet and accommodating until it all finally explodes in one volcanic eruption. And then when men finally are losing their cool, women say, "See, we have a problem with toxic masculinity. Men's anger, it needs to be tamped down because it's dangerous." And don't you see the vicious irony in that? That what we're actually doing is we are training men to be passive, resentful, and sexually invisible, which directly leads them to become explosive, volatile, and genuinely dangerous. And then we act shocked when women say, "Where are all the real men? Why is sex so boring? Why does he never stand up for himself?" Now here's a connection that almost nobody talks about because it makes people feel deeply uncomfortable. Men who can't feel or express anger also can't feel or express passion. That's why so many nice guys are boring as hell in bed. Anger and passion come from the exact same emotional well. They are feelings that are raw. They're feelings that exist in the body and not in the head. And so when we men, we train ourselves to suppress our anger, to damp down our aggression, to ignore these elements of ourselves, it shouldn't be a surprise that we also cannot express deeply and clearly and in a raw way our sexual passion in the bedroom. This is why so many women say things like, "He's sweet, but there's no spark. He's gentle, but the sex feels dead. I love him, but I'm not in love with him." They don't want a man who's out of control, but they do want a man who has fire. And fire does not come from niceness. That's why characters like the aggressive outlaw and the bad boy and the emotionally unavailable man are so sexy to women, because it's far more likely to bring that passion to the bedroom. On the flip side, the nice, gentle, sweet guy who's always there to take care of them and has no passion, has no rawness to him, he's completely disconnected, and as a result, he's invisible to her. You can't ask a woman to surrender to you if you haven't even owned your own power. Until you reclaim your anger, until you stop being afraid of it, you'll never access the full intensity, dominance, and presence that make you sexually magnetic. The truly empowered man is not afraid of his anger. He is comfortable with it. He is in control of it. We're often told that extreme anger is always bad, extreme anger is always toxic, but that is a lie. These are emotions of action. I remember a few years ago when my dog was a little puppy and I was walking with her in a dog park, and a big angry dog came up and started trying to attack her. He was going for her neck, as dogs do when they go to kill. She was on her back about to be mauled, and my anger kicks in. And I ran at that dog. I ran at him. I didn't think about anything else. I took action immediately, faster than I could process a thought. And I kicked and I punched and I threw that dog off my dog. And when that dog turned around to see what was going on, maybe attacking it, it could see the rage in my eyes and it ran away. I have heard many stories, because I've told this to many men, of men in similar situations feeling unable to take action because they're so used to burying their anger and rage, they couldn't take the appropriate behavior that they needed to protect their family. But mild anger is even more important. It tells people how we should be treated. It builds sexual attraction and it builds respect from the people around us. It enables us to say no without having to be angry. It enables us to call people out on their bad behavior towards us without losing our minds. It protects us from the world, and it tells people this is what this man expects from us, because he can express the full range of human emotion without apology. He can access his fire, but he never loses control. He channels it. He focuses it where it needs to go. And when it comes to intimacy, he doesn't perform masculinity, he embodies it. Now let me say something that might surprise you. It's not enough to understand your anger. You have to feel it, practice it, train it. Men, you need a space where you can intermittently express the full range of your anger and rage. This could be sports, especially competitive sports. It could be lifting heavy weights. It could be going to a destruction room where you get to go and take a baseball bat to a microwave or a bunch of glasses. But if you're not such a physical guy, just sit down and write a big FU list. Literally grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and start writing down all the ways you're pissed off at the people around you. Who's hurt you? Who's angered you? Who deserves all your anger and rage? Get worked up, like don't hold back one little bit, really go for it. Because men, you need to practice getting all the way to the edge of your extreme rage and walking it back. Taking a step back, moving backwards again, getting worked up and cooling down, worked up and cooling down. Because the problem for men is not that they are too angry too much of the time, is that they suppress so much, it explodes, and then they're not experienced being rageful and moving back from it. It's not a comfortable space from them. So they avoid it. They're constantly, actively avoiding the very thing that will eventually pull its way out of them if they don't have experience. And this is something that troubled youth workers have known for decades. When you take troubled, sometimes violent young men and you get them into boxing rings and start getting them boxing, taking action, being physically active a lot, regularly accessing their aggression and walking it back in controlled environments, it doesn't make them more aggressive. It makes them better at controlling the aggression they've got. And as a result, these youths commit fewer crimes in the future and not more. But you don't have to be a troubled youth to do that. You can learn to be in control of your anger and rage and have a comfortable and healthy relationship to it. And this is what nobody wants to tell young men today. You have to train your rage like a muscle, not ignore it and pretend it's not there. If you're watching this video and you're thinking, shit, that's me, then good. Because thinking that being nice and sweet and calm all the time is noble, it's not. That's rubbish. You're playing it safe. And as a result, you're destroying your confidence. You're destroying your sex life. You're destroying your self-respect as a man. What this world needs is more men to embrace and have a healthy relationship to their anger. It's only in this way that women will find the men in the relationships they want, and men will find the fight inside themselves to make this world a better place again. I hope you've enjoyed watching today's video. It's certainly a very heated topic. I'd love to know your thoughts below. As always, if you like this kind of content, give me a thumbs up to let me know you'd like to see more of it, and subscribe to my videos so you don't miss it in the future.